we're turning our attention to transfers, and it's been one hell of a silly season so far, Kevin, hasn't it? It's been quite a few stories, and
just look at what Real Madrid have spent. It's just phenomenal what they've spent across this summer. So
yeah, we might get into them in just a moment, but we want to start with Manchester United and get a mid-window report on Manchester United from you. Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka have come in. Two good signings, it looks like. Herrera and Valencia out. In terms of the net gain for Manchester United so far this summer, what are we looking at?
I was on a few weeks ago, just as the season finished, actually. We were talking about Wan-Bissaka. He was going to move. We spoke about him going to United. He'll improve Man United. I've heard the suggestion here, if anyone's watched Wan-Bissaka over the last few years, I think his downfall, and that's what maybe goes against him in terms of playing under 21 level for England and national level. Although he is a natural winger, that's where he started out. I don't think his greatest attribute is on the ball. He's a runner. He's brilliant one-on-one defender. He's one of the best one-on-one fullbacks in the Premier League over the last season. So you look at him like that in terms of United are going to be under pressure the way that they play. They've not necessarily got the most expansive team, so they're going to have to sit in games, and he's going to have to do his job one-on-one, and there's no one better for that, I don't think. I think he has to improve on his attacking game. That's where I think he seriously needs to improve, and he'd probably get better with the players that surround him, but it's a good signing. Very, very good signing. Daniel James, another one you say, it's about him, progression for him. He's not necessarily going to go in and be a regular first teamer, I don't think, to start with. It wouldn't seem that way to me. It's a signing for United with the future in mind. So I don't know. I think where they are, Man United at the moment, they're still way behind. They're still fifth or sixth, fourth at best. That's where they are, and that's the reality of Man United now.
Should they be a little bit more ambitious this window?
Who's they going to get? If you're one of the top players around world football at the moment, and you've got Man City, and you've got Liverpool, you've got Real Madrid, Barcelona, that's the calibre of clubs that they're competing with. Are you going to go to Man United ahead of those teams? And no, you're not going to do that, are you? It's not going to happen.
When we talk about ambition, does paying £90 million for Harry Maguire represent ambition or a bit of naivety?
It's the reality, isn't it? It's the reality of it.
Reality, right.
It's the reality of what United... I heard you lads on the other week, it's a premium. Your Man United, it's a premium. There's an extra 10, 15
It's
million.
a tax on Manchester United.
It is a tax, and that's the way it is. They can afford it. It's not a problem to them. The figures are crazy. We know that we're all the way we all are. 50 million, for whatever it is, for Wan-Bissaka is crazy. It's crazy money, but that's the reality, and that's where they are. So United need, I would say, 2 centre-halves, and sign Harry Maguire is a step forward for them.
Yeah, forget the price tag. He would be a good fit. He would improve that defence immediately.
Definitely.
In a position that they need. Like we talk about a couple of the other signings, and we've been going through this all window so far.
I've listened to you, yeah.
There's been so many names linked with Manchester United, but two of them that have kind of been linked on a more solid foundation. One of them really is Sean Longstaff, which is seems like that is a real link.
Well, Newcastle are a selling club. If any sort of offer goes into Newcastle, they'll let him go. So that will be done if they can just agree a fee.
Then the other one has been Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. Well, again, they've been linked. There was the other name that I saw yesterday as well. I saw another name as well, Owen, linked with them. Again, they're not necessarily names. If we're talking in terms of what the business Real Madrid have done, the business that City have done and probably will do, they're not names at that level, but they're going to make Man United better. Look what Man United are. Man United are, as I was saying, they're a 5th and 6th place team. That's where they are. We expect them to be a top 1 or 2.
If you're the money man in Man United and you're trying to bring the names in, and you have to go with this acceptance, like you said, you're 4th or 5th place behind all these. How do you sell United to these players, or can you, or do you have to accept this is the way it's going to be for a few years, and these newer,
I think you have to
younger signings, and just accept that they're going to be the future, and they'll bring in the names in a year or two?
We're talking about the names. I don't think Man United need to be going out and saying, as they were 2 or 3 seasons ago, we'll go and sign Paul Pogba, because it has gone wrong for United. He's obviously a problem in the dressing room. So if you're signing a name that's going into that dressing room and the team aren't playing to a standard that they're expecting, it's going to be a problem for United. So I think they are doing it right. I think they have to maybe go down to the next tier and bring in players that's going to make the team better. Because United haven't been a team, then they're not a team. The way that I've seen it over the last couple of seasons, it hasn't been right, and that's where they need to improve, I feel, off that. So maybe it's not necessarily going out and signing a huge name. If they're competing, they'll be able to compete because United can pay more money than Man City and even Liverpool. But the player themselves are not necessarily going to go there for financial reasons.
People will argue that the last thing Manchester United need is another season of dealing with Paul Pogba. But one thing that we can all agree that they definitely don't need is this transfer saga rumbling on all summer, and then he leaves at the end of the window.
Yeah, I'd let him go now.
He's going to Australia. Like, he's going with the team. It's
It's clearly not working. So it's not working for him, it's not working for United. So we've been talking Juve, Real Madrid across the course of the last few months. I'd always been in favour. Tottenham's business, that's why when they signed on Dembele, I was so surprised because Tottenham don't do that. Tottenham wait till the last couple of weeks of the season. Daniel Levy's strategy has always been, we'll keep the club hanging, we'll let them go. So that was a surprising thing about Spurs doing that deal. I'd always be in favour of getting your players in prior to pre-season, get them ingrained in what the club's all about, get them ingrained with the way the team's going to play. It's always best. It's better for a player because when it runs across the summer, you're chasing your tail then when the season starts because you're not up to speed, you're maybe not fully fit because you've not been focusing properly when you've been at the previous club. So if I was United, I'd let him go. I'd let him go now and get the deal done.
A couple of the other loose parts around Manchester United at the moment, Romelu Lukaku, Alexis Sanchez and Juan Mata.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on all of them? I know it's a big question on 3 different players.
Personally, I know a lot of people don't agree with it. I've got Lukaku first. Lukaku, again, it's another one that clearly hasn't worked. United overpaid for him when he went in there. Everton it was a great deal for them. If it is 100 million, I think it was 75 up front, but it's potential 100 million pound deal as well. That he's got to go. I think he has to go. It's not worked. Rashford signed his new deal this week. I've heard things said about Rashford. Rashford is potentially could be one of the very best, but he's playing in a side that don't play the type of football that's going to suit him.
Is that stunting his progression, I wonder?
I think Jose Mourinho and the way that United have played has stunted his progression. I know that if we look in terms of, and we spoke about in the past, in terms of him up against Raheem Sterling 2 seasons ago, we'd have all picked Rashford because of where he could go, and now it's like polar opposites, and that's been down to how United have been. So can he get to the form or the levels that we expect him to? I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe gone beyond it now, and that's what can happen. It can change so quickly in the professional game. But Rashford is going to be the main United striker now, and Lukaku has to go. He has to go. Yeah.
And then the Sanchez problem, the weight around the neck.
Well, it's not going to happen, is it? Unless United give him 30, 40 million quid, he's not going to go because they're going to have to pay to get him off the books. What is it, 20 million a year, I think he's on, something around that. It's farcical what's happened. It's not, again, it's another one that hasn't worked for United, so they have to try and manoeuvre a way to get him out, and that's the only way that I see that one playing out. And
then they obviously got Mata to put pen on paper, which it's hard to know how to actually kind of look at that one, because if he's a free agent, any other club, you're like, that'd be a good signing.
Yeah.
Whereas with Manchester United signing a player they already have, it kind of shows a bit of, or it is perceived as a bit of staleness. I actually don't think it is. I think it's like, if he's on the market.
I wouldn't have done it. Personally, I wouldn't have done it. He's a quality footballer, but the way that the game has gone, when it's the way that Chelsea built the team around him, particularly when Rafa Benitez was there, he had a free role and the team was built around him. He doesn't have the legs, he can't run. So you have to almost get runners around him. United can't have that luxury now. So when he's played on the right-hand side or the left-hand side or even central position for United, he's been a passenger. That's the way it has been with him. So I wouldn't have done that deal, no.
Right, so you're Ed Woodward, checkbook, blank, pen in hand. What number are you putting down, and who are you handing it to for which player? You can buy anybody within reason. Old
Trafford was saying before, how are you going to entice them? First of all, United are not. They're not a particularly attractive option for the big names around. Who are you going to sign? I've heard Rakitic mentioned. Would you go out and just say get him? He's 30 odd, whatever it would be, but he's an experienced player that have done it. United probably need a couple of experienced heads that are good pros that are going to actually get hold of that dressing room a little bit, and they need an element of youth around that as well. So there's a few names that you could probably throw about, but they're not going to be able to go out and entice a really big, attractive young player now, attractive proposition of a young player at 24, 25. It's simply not going to happen for United, no.
Could they entice Gareth Bale?
I love Bale. It might have gone beyond it now, but if they can get a loan deal in place for Bale, wages won't be an issue. If they can get a loan deal in place for Bale, yeah, I think that'd be a brilliant signing. If they can get him back. The injury problems are obviously, that's got to be a worry for them.
Why don't Manchester United look for Ivan Perisic in a trade for Romelu Lukaku?
Perisic was on the deal, it was on the cards last summer, wasn't it? Prior and after the World Cup. It never happened. You could see it happening. Perisic is again, it looks to me with him, I think he's a workhorse. I think he's a sort of the right character they probably need in that dressing room. I obviously don't know him, but he seems to be the sort of player that United could and perhaps should sign. And it seems logical that you could actually do a deal by letting Lukaku go and getting Perisic in, yeah.
He's 30 years old at this point. That wraps up Manchester United. We're going to do a few quick fire ones.